Thank you for the question. I'm sorry for any crazy cat noise in the background. I just got home and my cats get really turnt when mommy's home. They're very excited. So, what would cause me to retire a queen could be completely different than another breeder and another breed. So, this is how I'm going to answer it for me. It really depends. There's some things that they make the decision for me, like a health issue or they're a bad mother. I had my queen Goldie that I had one litter with, and I was really excited about her until she had her kittens. The first 3 weeks of her kittens' lives, she was an absolute nightmare of a mother. Anytime she would get stressed out, which was whenever the kittens would cry, which they're newborns, they're going to cry, she would grab them by the head and she would drag them into the litter box. And that can kill a kitten. Like, they could ingest the litter and suffocate. Like, they move around with their mouths. That's very, very dangerous. They could also get cold. So, the first 3 weeks of that litter's life was extremely stressful for me and my husband. I remember him calling me panicked because she had somehow gotten into our ancient old closet. We live in a 100-year-old house, and the closet like goes down, and he is a bodybuilder. He is a big man, and he does not like spiders. And she, of course, put the kittens all the way in the back, so he had to crawl through spider webs to go get those kittens, and he was just desperate for me to get home so he didn't have to deal with her. Like, he was so upset. So that never again. She also had issues delivering that litter, and she was kind of on the smaller side. So after just all of that, I was like, we're done. Before, like, first 3 weeks, I knew I was never going to breed her again. I wasn't even going to give her a chance to have another litter. She may have had an easier delivery the next time, but she was such a nightmare with that first 3 weeks of that. I mean, she was great afterward, but the first 3 weeks, yeah, she was, and yes, she was a first time mom. She could have been an amazing mom after that. Like, she may never be like that again, but I wasn't going to deal with that. I wasn't going to deal with, we had to have the veterinarian pull the kitten, and she also, that kitten was deformed. Everybody else in the litter was fine, but that was enough. I found out after I had gotten her pregnant that that particular line may have some issues, so I was like, great, here we go. So that's all I needed to know, and she was done. That we had a deformed kitten, she needed help with delivery, and she was not a good mommy for newborn. She was great afterward, but wasn't worth it for me again. My queen, Orshoya, was a frequent caller, and if a queen isn't going to call too much, I'm going to be more likely to keep them in my program. I don't really want to have the genetics of a queen that's going to be constantly in heat, because every time they go in heat, they risk pyometra. They're not dogs. They can go in every 2 weeks, and depending where you live, that could be year round. Luckily, I usually get a little bit of a reprieve in the wintertime, but that's not always the case. So a queen that is constantly going into heat, I have to worry about her. I have to breed her more often. I want to be a small cattery. I have a very busy life besides my breeding, so I'd ideally only like to have 1 or 2 litters a year, and I don't want all that stress. Like, being a breeder is hard enough, having to deal with all that. So a girl that's going to go into heat all the time, I don't really want to keep her genetics in my cattery. I don't really want to risk her health either. So those girls usually get retired by 2, 3 years old at the latest. And it really depends. Or we're talking queens, or are we talking kings? I'm mainly going to talk about queens here. But there's a lot of things that can come up. Anything that, like, if I did my health testing and I'd already bred a queen, and then I go back and do another echocardiogram on her heart and it's abnormal, I'm not going to breed her. I'm going to spay her right then and there, and I will place her in a pet home, and the owners, of course, will know what's going on with her. But sometimes I don't have a choice, or at least I don't feel I have a choice if something health wise comes up. Or in the case of Nidori, my queen, that I just recently retired, Ruslan's mother, she wasn't getting along with the other cats in the house, and I have to think about the other cats. Fairy, I'm planning to breed in the next couple of months, and I have to worry about her. She's the future of the cattery now, and I don't want her being attacked pregnant. I don't want that stress to go into the kittens. I don't want to risk her miscarrying. Nidori goes after her like she wants to kill her, and she would be much happier in a home without as many cats, and it breaks my heart. I love Nidori to death. I wish I could keep every cat. I really do. But that's selfish of me. It's not in her best interest, and she's going to go stay with one of Orshoya's daughters' family, so I know where she's going. They are thrilled to have her. I'm really excited for her new life, but that I don't have a choice there. I can't have her trying to kill one of my other queens. So cats not getting along, that's going to, it affects my life. I'm constantly playing musical cats. At night, they wake me up. And because I have a breeding situation, my king can't go where the queens are. My queens don't like being quiet at night, so they can't come into the room with me, and he may be talking with them, so it's just a big ordeal. And with currently two girls that fight each other and then fight my new queen, it's really stressful. So getting rid of Nidori, sending her to her no home, will hopefully help the stress in the house. Like, the cats don't choose to live here. I brought them into this situation, and it's not fair for me, especially with Fairy. It's not fair for me to bring her in here and to make her deal with these other cats constantly trying to attack her. It's not fair that I'm constantly holding her around, protecting her, not letting her live a cat life. So Nidori's got to go, because it's just not fair to Fairy. She deserves to have a normal, happy life. And especially if she's going to be carrying kittens, she doesn't need to have any extra stress. So Nidori will be leaving, and Orshoya possibly will be leaving, because she's just over raising kittens. She's done. She wasn't the world's best mom. I have videos of her, like, kicking her babies, like, and she really enjoyed knocking kittens down. Like, that brought her so much joy. Like, I have no doubt that she would have been one of those mothers that, like, threw their kid away or something. Like, she literally was not meant to be a mom. She was great. I had to help her a lot, but as soon as she could get them off the tit, she was done. So she made me wonderful babies. I have Ruslan because of her. But yeah, I spayed her by 2 years old, and it's a shame. She's freaking gorgeous. Probably the most perfect female Siberian that I will ever have or show. Hope not. But yeah, I had to spay her after 2 litters, and I would have loved to show her more. I would have loved to have more kittens out of her, but she made that decision for me. So a lot of times the decision, if I put my cats first, it's out of my hands, or if health comes up, it's out of my hands. Most of the time something comes up to make me make that decision. I don't just go, well, now it's time. But if everything's great, they're healthy, they're not calling all the time, and they're amazing mom, they're amazing show cat, I'm gonna want to hold on to those girls just for my peace a while. So maybe 3 or 4 years. But I don't see myself, unless I just had the most perfect female specimen, keeping a girl. 5 or older before I spayed them. But it just really depends on them, their health,